This is the File Management Training Lab, the first lab of the course. Go ahead and log into your UCA account. Click on the My Courses tab. And in your courses for this semester, you should see an Intro Computing. Click on it. You should see the Blackboard shell for this particular course. The home page there again is where the syllabus is posted. You can click on the syllabus to read it. Also, you have some help names and numbers here if you need help with any of your lessons or if you have any hardware software issues. My instructor has all my information, contact information. And the videos that you're going to be viewing are in the course videos link. So what you're going to do for this first assignment is you go into Blackboard, you're going to click on your assignment link here on the left hand side of your screen, which is your Blackboard menu. Click on which particular week we're in, and so this is the first week. And this will show you how to watch the video, so click on that to read it. But this is your first file management. This is a training lab, your first actual lab. It tells you to go ahead and watch the video. Then we're going to download the compressed FM folder here that's attached to the assignment. We're going to save it to our desktop. This is a compressed folder. Notice the .zip. That means this folder is compressed. It's shrunk. We cannot use the files in this folder until we shrink them, unzip them, uncompress them, whatever term you want to use. But we have to get them back to normal size. So we're going to save. We're going to click here on the fms.zip folder. I want to save this to my desktop. The reason I put this folder to my desktop is because it's right there. I can see it when it's time for me to find it and submit it. So I'm going to do Save As. I'm going to click on Desktop here, and I'm going to save it to my desktop. So I'm going to, and then, you know, it says we're going to have to extract it. Once you extract it, you're going to open the FM directions file in the uncompressed FM folder and perform the task listed. So right now, I'm just going to minimize Blackboard because when I'm finished, I'm going to have to come in here to this assignment link and submit it. So I'm going to keep it open. I'm just going to minimize it. I'm going to minimize everything I have open. Excuse me. I should now, on my desktop, have a folder that says FM folder. And it doesn't matter if it has the number 1, 2, or 3. That depends on your browser that you're using if it renames it. Notice the folder has a zipper on it. That means it's a zipped folder, a compressed folder. It's a shrunk folder. The only way you can submit multiple files in a folder through Blackboard is that it has to be compressed. So the instructions said that we must uncompress them or unzip them. How you uncompress or unzip a folder is right-click on the folder. In your shortcut menu, you should have an Extract All. Click the Extract All. If you're in Windows 7 like I am, all you're going to do is hit Extract here. If you're using XP, which I don't know if anybody still has XP, but if you do, you're going to have a Next button here, Next. Hit Next twice and then hit Finish. Any operating system, as far as Windows 7 or more, you just hit Extract. Now when I do that, another folder opens. I'm going to close it because what I want to show you, you now have 2 FM folders, one with a zipper and one without a zipper. Whatever you do, do not use the one with the zipper. If you do all your work in the compressed folder with the zipper, you're going to lose everything. So to make sure that I don't do anything wrong, I'm immediately right now going to delete the compressed folder. So the folder with the zipper on it, I'm going to right click and delete so I make sure I don't submit the wrong thing or I don't work in the wrong folder. Excuse me. So now, and if worse comes to worse, if I do something wrong, all I have to do is go right back in here and download it again. So I mean, it doesn't matter. So now open the FM folder, and you have a directions file, and then a folder with a bunch of, and I open the art files folder. It's just a folder with a bunch of files in it. Excuse me. So open the FM directions file, and these are the directions you're going to perform these tasks. The first thing it does, it says using the uncompressed FM folder downloaded with this assignment, complete all the tasks listed below. There again, there is a video for you to watch for this. So the first thing we're going to do here is, and the whole purpose of file management is organizing your files. You're going to be copying files, you're going to be deleting files, you're going to be renaming files, you're going to be moving files. So it's to get yourself organized. File management is just like if you had a filing cabinet in your office. You have 3 or 4 drawers. You keep your file folders in that filing cabinet and you organize them. You keep all your biology files together in a folder, all your chemistry. So that's what this is don't just throw all of your files out there on your computer on the hard drive. If you organize them into meaningful folders, then you can find your files a lot faster. You're just more organized. So the first thing we want to do is rename the Art Files folder to Art Class 101. So this is my Word directions file. So I'm going to minimize it. I want to rename the Art Files folder to Art Class 101. So how you rename a file or rename a folder. Now you can tell the difference. This is a file. If you look at the icon, it's the Word. It represents Word. This is a folder. This folder has a bunch of files in it. So a file is usually the icon that represents a program that was made in is usually in front of the name. A folder just looks like a typical folder that you would, a physical folder that you would use in the office. So whether it be a folder or a file, the easiest way to rename either one is just to right click. So right click on the Art Files. And from the shortcut menu, select the rename option. And we want to call this Art Class 101. So just type in Art Class 101. And you can either hit your Enter key or just click in any open white space to select it. Now, step 2, we want to create 2 folders in the Art Class 101 folder named Fonts and Pictures. So down here on my taskbar, this is how I'm switching between programs and switching between different files. Down here I have my Word program running that has my instructions up. And then over here down on the taskbar at the bottom I have the folder. This is Windows Explorer. I click on it. It shows all my folder view. So I'm going to open Art Class 101. This is a icon view of the files. I'd rather work in what I call a list view. I don't really care what the files look like or what's in them. I just care what their names are. So I'm going to right click in any open white space and I'm going to select View, and in the shortcut menu, these are large icons. I'm just going to click on List. I just want to see the list of the names. I don't care what they look like. This just gives me a smaller view so I can see it better. 2 ways to create a folder. One way is just in any open white space here in the folder that I want it in. Now it says that we need to create 2 folders in the Art Class 101. So I'm going to back here, I'm going on my taskbar, I'm going in between the Word document, my instructions, and Windows Explorer down here on this taskbar. Excuse me. I would have a cough when I need to record this. Up here, this is called your path. If the instruction tells you to put it in a certain folder, make sure on this path that the folder that you're putting in is the last name that appears up here. So right here, in any open white space, just right click, find the New option, and because it has an arrow pointing here, that means you're going to get another submenu, and in that submenu, click Folder, and it's already highlighted, so all I have to do is start typing, and the first folder we want to call it is Fonts, F-O-N-T-S, and just either hit Enter or click in any open white space. And the other folder we need to make is called Pictures. And so the second way to make a folder, a new folder, is up here on your menu bar, just click on New Folder. It comes in, and this one we're going to call Pictures. So you have two ways to make folders. Okay. Step C, move all the font files, which is fonts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, from the Art Class 101 folder into the fonts folder. Okay, so down here on my taskbar, I'm going to bring up Windows Explorer. Windows Explorer is the file management tool. Okay, so the easiest way to move files is to drag and drop. When it says move, that means you're taking out of one folder and putting it in another. So we need to move all 5 of these fonts here. I'm going to move all 5 at one time. You can just left click on Fonts 1, drag and drop it up here to the folder. Click on Fonts 2, drag and drop it. There's an easier way to do it. I can do all 5 of these at one time. So how you select consecutive files, meaning one right after another, they have to be in order, one right after another, is left click on the first file that you want, which would be Fonts 1. Now go and point to the last file in succession that you want, and that would be Fonts 5. Hold your Shift key down and then click on Fonts 5. When you do that, it selects all the files in between Fonts 1 and Fonts 5. Now to move, what I'm going to do is left click and drag and drop it into the fonts folder. So left click in any one of these blue highlighted file names, it doesn't matter which one. Drag and go up till you see until the fonts folder, it's going to be hard to do. Is it going to let me drag it till you see here in the background the fonts folder lights up, and let go. They came out of the Art Class 101. Now to verify that they are in the fonts folder, I'm going to double click and open that folder, and there they are. Now to go back, I can hit the bat arrow, or I can, there again, this is your path. I can also click on Art Class 101 to go back to that folder. Step D, excuse me, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to move all the pick files, which is pick 1 through 6, from Art Class 101 into the Pictures folder. Now there again, this is important when you see the word move or copy. When you do a copy, you're leaving the files in one folder and putting them in another. They're going to be in 2 places. So right now we're just moving. So down here on my taskbar, I'll bring up Windows Explorer. I'm going to select all 6 pick files at one time. We're going to use the same method. Left click on pick 1, go down to pick 6, point to it, hold your Shift key down, now click on it, and all 6 files are selected at one time. And another way to move is, a move is the same as a cut and paste. So yes, I can left click, drag and drop it into the Pictures folder, or I can do a cut and paste. So this time we're going to do a cut and paste, just a different method. So in any one of these 6 selected files, where they're highlighted in blue, just left click on any one. From the shortcut menu, select Cut. Then now go open your Pictures folder, which is where we're supposed to put it. And this is the important thing. Make sure up here on this path that the folder that you're supposed to be putting these files in is the last name up here. And then now just right click in any open white space, and from the shortcut menu click Paste. So that is how you can move. Drag and drop or cut and paste. Okay, now on E, we're going to make a subfolder to Pictures called Drawings, and we're going to copy this time. Copy Draw 1 and Draw 2 from the Art Class 101. So I'm going to go down here on my taskbar. I'm going to bring up Windows Explorer. I need to go back to Art Class 101. So up here on my path, I'm going to click on the Art Class 101. And I need a folder in the Pictures. So I shouldn't have done that. Double click on Pictures. I'm going to change the view back to List. I need a folder. This is going to be a folder within a folder. So we're doing subfolders. So make sure Pictures is the folder you're working in. And how you know that is by checking this path and make sure it's the last one. I need to make a new folder, so you have two methods. Either click on the new folder button or right click anywhere as an open white space. I'll just do the right click method. Go down to New, and in the sub menu click on Folder, and we want to call this Drawings, D-R-A-W-I-N-G-S. And I want to copy Draw 1 and Draw 2 from the Art Class 101 folder. So up here on my path, I need to go back to my Art Class 101, so click on it, and we're going to copy. So I'm going to select two files at one time. I'm going to do both at one time. I'm not going to do one at a time. So left click on Draw 1. And in this case, because it's only two files, it doesn't matter whether you hold the Shift key down or the Control key down. Either one will let you select two. So I'm going to hold the Control key down. My two files are selected. This time I have to copy. So that means I'm going to leave them in the Art Class 101 folder and have them in the Drawings folder in the picture. So right now, on either one of the two files where they're highlighted, right click on the file name, select Copy from the shortcut menu. Now we've got to go find the Drawings folder. These have to go into the Drawings folder. We know the Drawing folders is in the Pictures folder, so you have to open the Pictures folder by double clicking. Now don't paste it here. This is pasting it in the Pictures folder. The instructions said we must, on E, we must copy them into the Drawings folder. So in Windows Explorer, open your Drawings folder by double clicking on it. So this path up here shows you this is the folder I'm in. This is where it's supposed to be. So right now, just right click any open white space and paste. Step F. I'll make sure I'm not missing any. I always miss one every time. Okay, F. Make a subfolder to the Drawings called Color and copy Palette 1 and Palette 2. So I'll bring up Windows Explorer. And I need to make a folder in the Drawings called Color. So I'm already in the Drawings. So I'm going to, right now you can either right click and do New Folder, or I can just use the button. So I'm going to do New Folder here. And I'm going to call it Color. Click anywhere in any open white space. And now I need to go back to the Art Class 101 folder because it has my Palette 1 and Palette 2 in it. So up here on the path, I'm going to click on Art Class 101. And I need Color Palette 1, Color Palette 2. So to select both at one time, I'm going to left click on Palette 1. I'm going to hold my Control or Shift key. It doesn't matter, either one, because there's only two files. Click on Palette 2. And this is supposed to be a copy. So I'm going to right click any one of the two files that are selected. I'm going to select Copy from the shortcut menu. I need to put it in the Color folder. The Color folder is in the Drawings folder, which is in the Pictures folder. So I'm going to double click Pictures to open it. I'm going to double click Drawings to open it. I'm going to change my view back to List. And now I need it in the Color folder. Don't paste it here because you're in the Drawings folder. It's to be in the Color folder. So you have to double click on the Color folder. Make sure in your path that the last name there is the folder that the instructions are telling you to go to. So right here, Color, copy Color Palette 1 and Color Palette 2 into the Color folder. So now, in any open white space, right click and paste. Step G. Rename the Color Palette files in the Color folder by removing the word Color in the dash. Because all of these files, when we first opened them, they were all just in that one folder, Art Class 101. So we had to give them these long drawn out names like Color Palette 1, Color Palette 2. Now that we're organizing these files and putting them in meaningful folders, we don't have to use these long names. So what we're going to do is rename the files, because since it's in the Color folder, there's no sense in having the name Color in it. So the easiest way to rename, and it doesn't matter whether it be a file or a folder, is just to right click on the file or folder name that you want. So I'm going to right click on Color Palette 1. From the shortcut menu, I'm going to select the rename. And all I'm going to do is click in here and backspace out the color out of it. Same with Color Palette 2. Right click. From the shortcut menu, click rename and just backspace out color dash, because we don't need those names anymore. We actually have them in a meaningful folder. Okay, now H, we want to delete all the files that contain the word color from the Art Class 101 folder. So obviously we thought we wanted them in the color folder and in the Art Class 101 folder. Now we decided no, there's no sense in having them here. So we're going to go back to the Art Class 101 folder and now delete them. I'm going to delete both of them at one time. So I've got to select both of them. And I'm going to select two at one time. Left click on the first one that you want. Now hold your, and since these are only two files and they are consecutive, meaning they're right beside each other, it doesn't matter whether I use the Shift or the Control key. But either hold down the Shift or the Control and then left click. And we want to delete it, so the easiest way to delete is just to right click either one of the two files that are selected. And from the shortcut menu, select the delete option. And yes, we're sure we want to send them. Okay, we're going to make another subfolder to the Art Class 101 called Figures, and we're going to copy files cut, cut out, lines, shapes, and tilt. Okay, so down here on my taskbar, I'm going to bring up Windows Explorer. Now this subfolder has to be in Art Class 101. So just make sure up here on your path that the last name you see there is Art Class 101. I will use the new folder button, so I'm just going to click new folder. I'm going to type in the name that we were supposed to put in. It was Figures, and hit enter. And now we want to copy, cut, cut out, lines, shapes, and tilt. These 5 files that we need to copy are not in consecutive order. And I want to do all 5 at one time. I don't want to copy and paste 5 different times. So how you select multiple files that are not consecutive, meaning they're not one right after another, is left click on the first one that you want. So we're going to left click on cut. And from here on out, hold your control key down as you click on all the other ones. So I'm going to hold my control key down and click on cut out. I'm now going to hold my control key down and click on lines. I'm going to hold my control key down and click on shapes. I'm going to hold my control key down and click on tilt. So I have 5 files selected that are not consecutive. Now, we want to copy these. So I can easily right click on any one of these selected ones and select copy, and then go open the Figures folder and paste. But another method that you can do to move or copy files is, when we wanted to move files on step C and D, I said if you left click, drag and drop to the folder, that's a move. Well, we have to copy. Another way is if you right click excuse me, any one of these files, right click and drag and drop. So I need it to go in the Figures folder. So I'm moving up and hovering over that Figures folder. And you can see in the background it's highlighted. It's got that blue rectangle around it, and let go. It gives me a shortcut menu whether I want to move or copy. Well, the directions said I had to copy, so I'm going to click on copy here. I'm going to open that Figures folder, and yes, I'm going to change the view to list. It's just, and there they are. So a left click drag and drop on files is a move. If you right click on the files and you drag and drop them, you're going to get a shortcut menu that's going to ask you, do you want to copy them or do you want to move them? So there's a lot of ways to do the same thing, several ways. Okay, now we need J. Make a subfolder to the figures called clip art, and notice we're going to move this time. And this is how your labs are going to be graded. If you move and you copy instead of move, or you move and you should have copied, that's where your points are taken off. So make sure you read whether it's a copy or a move. If it's a move, you're taking it out of one folder and putting it in another. If it's a copy, you're going to have it in two places. You're going to have it in the original folder and the new folder that you made. So here we're going to make a subfolder to figures called clip art. I'll bring up Windows Explorer. A subfolder to figures. So I'm going to open my figures folder. So make sure up here on the path, the last name you see is figures. I used the new folder button last time, so this time I'm going to do a right click in any open white space. I'm going to select new, and then I'm going to click on folder, and we're calling it clip art. Okay, and we want to copy. No, we're moving. Whoosh, no. Clip art. We're moving any file that contains the word clip art in the Art Class 101. So I'll bring up Windows Explorer. I need to go back to my Art Class 101 folder. So up here on my path, I'm going to click on Art Class 101 folder. And there's 3 that have clip art in it. And these are consecutive. So I'm going to do all 3 at one time. I'm going to left click on picture 1. I'm going to now, and in this case, because there's more than 2, I have to hold my shift key down. I have to point to the last file in succession that I want, hold the shift key down, and then left click on it, and it will pick up all the files in between. And we're moving it, so I'm just going to do a cut and paste. So I'm going to right click on any one of these clip art pictures, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to now open my figures folder, open my clip art folder, because it's supposed to go into the clip art folder, so make sure up here on this path, the last name you see is the name of the folder it needs to go into, which is clip art. And then right click in any open white space and paste. And on K, there again, these files had such long, elaborate names because we had them all splattered out in one, in one place. We didn't have them organized. We're going to now rename the clip art picture files and remove the word clip art. We don't need that anymore. So down here on my taskbar, I'll bring up my Windows Explorer, and the easiest way to rename, whether it be a file or a folder, right click on the name. In the shortcut menu, click rename, and all I'm going to do is backspace out the word clip art. So right click on each one of them, rename, and delete the clip art portion of it. We've got them in nice, meaningful, organized folders now. We don't have to give them these long, crazy, elaborate names. Okay, after doing that, you're going to answer some questions here. So when you download these files, the Word file will be your instruction file. You're going to type your answers in here, in this Word document, and then you're going to immediately save the file again with your answers in it. Okay, so what is the largest file in the pictures folder? Okay, I'm going to now, down on my taskbar, bring up Windows Explorer. So what is the largest file in the pictures folder, including all the subfolders? Okay, so let's go to Art Class 101, the beginning. Let's open our pictures folder. There's 6 pictures in there. In order to see the size of these files, I'm going to have to view the details. So we're going to right click in any open white space, and on the shortcut menu click on view, and we have to see the details of these files. So from that shortcut menu, select details. Here is your size column. The largest one here right now is Pic6, 3 kilobytes. But the question was, what's the largest file in the pictures folder, including all its subfolders? So right now it's Pic6, but there's some more folders we have to look in. There's a drawings folder, so we have to look and check the size of those files. So open your drawings folder by double clicking. We need to see the details view, so right-click in any open white space, click on View Details, and these are all still 1 kilobyte, so that's not larger than the PIC6 yet, but there's still another subfolder here. So now we're going to have to check the files in the color folder. Double-click the color folder, right-click to view the details, and they're still all 1 kilobyte. There's no more folders. So bring up your Word document, and the answer here is PIC6, and you don't have to type in the 3 KBs, but PIC6 3 KBs. I guess I could put it on a different line. Okay. The next one is how many files are in the Figures folder and its subfolders. So down here on your taskbar, open your Windows Explorer. I can't believe I keep saying that. Let's go all the way back to Art Class 101 folder. So up here on your path, click on Art Class 101. And we want how many files are in the Figures folder and its subfolders. So let's open the Figures folder. Now that's a folder, so don't count it. These are files, so there's 5 files there, but we have to count the folders that's the files that are also in the subfolders. So there's 5 there. Open your clip art folder. There's 3 there. So, and there's no more. I'm going to view details. There's no more folders to open, so 5 plus 3 is 8. Bring up your Word instructions file, and for this answer, type in 8. Now the next one is how many JPEG files, and JPEG files are graphic files, in the Figures folder and its subfolders. So down here on the taskbar, I'm going to bring up Windows Explorer. I'm going to go back to the Figures folder because it wants to know how many JPEG files. I have to see the details again. I don't see the file extension, so I don't know what kind of files these are. So I'm going to right-click in any open white space, View Details. These are all bitmap files. They're not JPEG files, so none of these count. But it also wants to know any in the Figures folder and its subfolders. It has a subfolder called Clip Art, so let's open it. These are JPEG files. Here's the type, JPEG. So there's 3, and there's no more subfolders to look in. So bring up your Word instructions file, type in the answer 3 there, and then after inserting the answers, save the file again. So immediately do File Save, or up here on your Quick Access toolbar, click on the little diskette. Now we're done. We're going to have to submit all this. So you can't submit your folder, your Art Class 101 folder that has all your files and your new folders that you built through Blackboard unless it's in a compressed folder. So the first thing you're going to have to do is create a compressed folder named fmanswers.zip on your desktop. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this. We might as well close out of this folder. We don't need that anymore. So how you make a compressed folder is in any open white space on your desktop, any open blank space, just right click. In the shortcut menu, click on New, and then go to the very bottom where it says compressed zip folder. Don't select this first folder like we've been doing. That's a regular folder. We got to have a compressed folder. So go all the way to the bottom where it says compressed zip folder and type in FM answers. That's what we're supposed to call it. .zip. Some systems you have to type in the .zip, some you don't, because I have no clue how your computer's set up. Always type in the .zip. You may end up with 2 .zips, but don't worry about it. That's the only way I'm positively going to make sure I get it. Now your FM folders here. Remember when we first opened this, Art Class 101 was nothing but a bunch of files. And now you have all these folders made. So I'm just checking it to make sure my work is in here. And what you're going to do is drag and drop your FM folder that has all your answers in it into the compressed folder called FM Answers and let go. Now this is another tricky thing depending on the computer you're using. Open your fmanswers.zip folder and make sure your FM folder is in there that has all the work you did. If it's not in there, Let me just delete it because I want to show you what happened. Okay? If you drag and drop this and you open your FM folder and it's not in there, then the system you're using requires you to open this folder in order to drag and drop it. So if I do this and it's not there, you got to check it, or else I'm going to get an empty folder with no work to grade. Just automatically open it, and you can do this even, I mean, this will work every time. So if you're nervous about it, just go ahead and open it anyway. And now, with your compressed FM answers folder open, drag and drop your FM folder that has all your work into it. Now that method will work every time on every computer. I think the older computers in the library used to not let you do this. They didn't do the drag and drop. You always had to open it. So just be careful. Just always make sure you check this and make sure that's in there. If it's not, then drag and drop it while it's open. Okay. So now we have, we copied it, or it's highly advised that you check it. Okay. Copy the uncompressed folder into the compressed. All you have to do is drag and drop it, or you can do a copy and paste. Now we're going to submit our FM Answers compressed folder via the Blackboard assignment link. I'm going to check this one more time. I'm going to open my FM directions. I want to make sure my answers are in there. Yes, there's my typed answer. So just check everything. Okay, now we're going to bring up Blackboard, the assignment. It's file management training. So in order to get to the submission part of this assignment, you have to click on the assignment link. You may have to scroll down, find the assignment submission section. You're going to click on Browse My Computer. Now, I saved mine to the desktop so that I can easily find it. That's the first option I have here. So I'm going to click on Desktop, and I'm going to scroll through till I see my compressed folder, the folder that has the zipper on it, and it should be FM Answers. So it should be FM Answers, and it has a zipper on it. You cannot submit a folder, a plain folder in Blackboard. Anything like this, you cannot, I will not get it. So make sure it's the FM compressed. Double click or click once and click open. Make sure on this assignment submission section where it says attached files, it has a file name called fmanswers.zip. Now my system, here it has .zip. Obviously I didn't have to put this .zip on mine. A lot of computers you do. If you don't put that .zip, it doesn't compress it. So don't worry if it has two .zips. That's better than none. So, I mean, that's fine. Just leave it as it is and hit your submit button. So if you have any questions or problems, just give me contact me, and I can help you through it. I can talk you through it or email it, either way. So good luck.